All right, folks, we're going to start with this. A new class of investors, or vulture investors as they are being billed. They buy distressed mortgages from banks for pennies on the dollar and in some cases offer underwater homeowners the chance to keep their homes and severely cut their mortgage payments. Liz MacDonald has been looking into this story, and David Lykken has some strong thoughts about it. But Liz, I do want to start with you on the specifics.
Yes, Cheryl, this is being championed by Lou Ranieri, who invented mortgage-backed securities and the term securitizations. That's what Wall Street analysts are saying, when he was at Salomon Brothers. And so he is basically taking a template that he used, get this, and helping to rescue Bank United in Houston in the late 80s. And that is, basically having the bank or having do a principal knockdown, a knockdown of the principal, not just the interest costs on the mortgage, and that will keep people in their homes. He learned that lesson, he says, helping out Bank United, helping rescue that Houston bank, and he says it worked. And at that time, there were people, he says, doing what he calls jingle mail. So Lou Ranieri has been on the forefront of a lot of the action in the housing market. At that time, people were mailing back their keys to the bank because they were deeply underwater. Now he's opened up a new fund, and whether or not we should call them vultures, that's debatable. He's basically helping out buying knockdown mortgages that are deeply underwater, have negative equity, and he's making money off it. It's called the Selene Residential Mortgage Opportunity Fund. Chances are that Wilbur Ross will be following. He's already on the stick here. Wilbur Ross, distressed investor, is following, is doing the same, and Fortress Investments. So is this a template? Is this the way the government should have gone in the beginning? The problem is we've got two issues. The servicing industries are dominated by four banks. They have basically said no to this template. And it was the IRS saying, look, if you get your principal knocked down, you're going to have to pay income tax on that. Lou Ranieri stepped in and helped change those laws.
And again, you make a great point about Lou Ranieri, that he basically is the inventor of securitization, if you will, back in the day. But I want to be clear on something. It's an $825 million fund that he has. I want to be clear, though, are they owning outright these mortgages? I mean, because he's got, what, 31 foundations?
That's right. $825 million bucks, and they're buying the loans to help restructure them and basically make money off of it.
Buying them from the banks. All right, David Lykken, I want to bring you into this because, I mean, this certainly does seem to kind of solve two major problems that folks have when it comes to their home. They're underwater, they need their payments reduced, and basically you need private equity investors to kind of step in and back up the mortgage market. Do you agree?
I agree with that, Liz. I absolutely do. The problem with that, though, is that there's so few loans that Lou Ranieri and his group and a lot of investors out there, there is a lot of capital trying to purchase these loans that are underwater. But Fannie and Freddie have not cooperated. A number of the banks are not cooperating. And virtually all loans that are sold into securities are not being able to be picked out. It's a very complicated challenge that Lou and his group of investors are trying to overcome, is getting ownership of these loans. If they do get ownership, Liz, they absolutely have a real advantage of being able to help these buyers. But there's more to that story.
David, wait, hold on a second. It sounds to me like you're saying that you think that the vulture investment idea, as the Journal is calling it, that that's a good thing, that Lou Ranieri actually has his finger on something here, that maybe other investors like Wilbur Ross that Liz MacDonald just mentioned should be onto this idea. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I think there should be, yes. One part of this I'm saying yes, another part of so it sounds like I'm saying two different things here. Let's be clear. Number one, that if we could get Fannie and Freddie to start doing some of these programs of working with borrowers, it's going to help keep borrowers in homes. The problem with this is that we have a complex existing system that we have been dealing with for a long time that brought us to this crisis that has caused this whole problem, Liz. And that is where the problem is right now. And it's creating expectations with consumers that they think they can go out there hearing about these deals that can be done, and it's a very, very small percentage of loans that actually can be reworked or modified in the manner which Lou Ranieri is talking about.
Well, David, it's great to have you on the show. And by the way, this is Cheryl Casone that you're speaking to, so stand by me with just for a second. But I want to bring in Todd Schoenberger into this discussion. Yeah, David, I want to bring you into this because, I mean, certainly this seems from an investment perspective brilliant. You go in, you save these loans, you save the folks, they get to keep their homes, and on the back end of this deal, maybe it's 5 years out, the investor makes money on a good return.
The purpose of doing this is making money, just what you're saying, Cheryl, and that's the whole idea. Remember, when we had housing going up over the past decade, mortgage-backed securities, that was the #1 product out there. Now you're going to the inverse effect. Now you want to make money on the downside. Listen, these people, these investment funds, the Vulture funds, whatever you want to call them, are getting these accounts for pennies on the dollar. So even if the account defaults, chances are they're going to still make money down the road. They don't care about the homeowner. They don't have a fiduciary responsibility to the homeowner, to the shareholders. All they care about is making money, and this is a new product and a way to make that cash.
And you know, Lou Ranieri is being brilliant about it. Personally, that's my opinion, because he's developed a proprietary computer system that finds the loans where he thinks he'll make money off of them. And so basically, these are the people he thinks really want to stay in their homes or really want to make the payments, but they just can't because they're so dramatically underwater, 40% down from the time they took out the loan.
And he also is enlisting, I think this is fascinating, is he's also enlisting kind of folks that will go out and work with them. All right, that's it.
Like
no more dinners out.
Right.
Yeah,
instead of bill collectors, they're like credit counselors.
I mean, it's I mean, look, the mortgage crisis is far from fixed. We've got major problems. It's not a bad idea. David Lykken, I know that you've got mixed feelings about it. David, thank you very much for speaking with us. We appreciate it. Great to have you on.